I don't know if you've seen the video of the guy in the Bronx that he almost tackles the woman over the platform onto the tracks, breaking her collarbone. And this, I almost went back to my Bob Grant days, and I almost said this maggot. That's what I really was about to say. This maggot. So thank you, Bob Grant. Says, I didn't know my strength. And of course he has an extensive criminal record. And this is right up there with the guy that mushed the lady with his own human waste because she was not interested in him romantically. I wonder why she was not interested in you. You know, when you go into the subway car, do what you do nature-wise, number two, and then come back and mush it in her face because she was not interested in you. Frank in Long Island, good morning. You are on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Hey, Dominic. I'm going to make it 30 seconds, but I'm going to say an awful lot. I'm sure McConaughey is sincere, but in the back of my mind, I always keep this thought. He's an actor, okay? And that's that. McConaughey has made millions and millions of dollars in at least 11 movies where guns were a big factor. So he's part of the problem as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, but wait, Frank. So he's not entitled to make a livelihood?
Yes, he is. He is. But don't talk to me about guns when you're out there making millions in movies where guns are a big thing, part of the movie.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head which movie he was in that features a lot of guns. And I'm not saying that he has not been in them, but can you think off the top of your head, Frank, some movies that he's done where there are a lot of guns?
It's been in the papers today. At least 11 movies, lots of guns. Let me move on for a second, okay? There was a teacher shot that only survived because he played dead. And he came out and said the truth. You know what he said? And I love cops, let me tell you, and this never would have happened in New York City. But what he came out and said was, those cops were cowards. They're the reason why so many people died. They stayed outside of that classroom like a bunch of scared little sissies when they should have gone and just like Ray Kelly said today, they should have gone. That's what they're supposed to do. And here's my last point. They're letting in millions of people without any screening into this country at that southern border. How many killers you think are in those millions of people? If you follow the United Kingdom news outlets, the papers and all of that, you'll see that Britain has let in millions, not millions, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people from the Middle East, okay? And every couple of months, you'll pick up the Daily Mail from London, and you'll see people's heads being cut off in the street with machetes by these people that they let into their country. And here we are, we're worried about guns, we're worried about this, that. Meantime, we got a border where just tomorrow there's 15,000 people assembled waiting to come in. We don't even know who they are. You think people need guns to go into a school? The real problem with the kids in the schools is that number one, all of these people have left. All of these killers have signaled what they're going to do. But it gets ignored, just like the two brothers in the Boston Massacre. The Russians told us all about them. But the schools are not secure. Those schools should have only one way in and one way out, but they don't, except for Florida. Florida has done it.
Well,
but of course we know who the governor of Florida is and who the one before him was. But they don't even have ID cards where electronically, like a hotel, to get into the school. That's what's needed. Harden the schools.
I hear you, Frank, and I thank you for the call. this morning. The police in Uvalde have come under tremendous criticism, including from that teacher. I believe Mr. Reyes is his name that you just referred to. All 11 kids in his classroom were killed. And so we have to understand that he's very upset right now. Now you folks can call me out of my mind, but I'm still reserving judgment completely on the police in Uvalde until we know all the facts. I just feel that police have earned the right across the country where, and I know many of you will disagree with what I'm saying, but where we just jump in and Monday morning quarterback and, maybe they did wait too long, 2 hours, but we don't know the full chain of command as of yet. We don't know what was going out over their radios. I'm just telling you folks the way I see it. We don't know exactly who knew what and when. Now, does it pass the smell test? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It looks like something is terribly, terribly wrong. And if you're just joining us, Chelsea Boudin, the district attorney of San Francisco, is out. Gone. Finito. A recall election by the voters of San Francisco, and they have said they have had it with this district attorney. And so I hope in every city in America this morning that the district attorneys are paying close attention, and I know that they are, because now you're going to start hearing the double talk. You're going to start hearing the pro-law and order, which is the way it should have been all along. You can't be nice. I'm going to use Bob Grant's words again. You cannot be nice to these maggots. They understand one thing and one thing only. You have to constantly stay on them. If you let up for 1 second, you will regret it. That's what's happening in the city of New York now. The poll out yesterday from Siena College, where 75% of New Yorkers are worried. New Yorkers are worried that you may be the next headline. And you may. If you're walking along the train path and some nut, for whatever reason, doesn't like the tie you have on, or for a woman, the shoes that you have on. Or maybe if you're a woman, the suspect wants to romantically get with you and you're not interested at all in him, and we see what can happen. Or if they have an addiction and they just pick a drugstore, pick a supermarket, any store, it doesn't matter. We're going to go in, we're going to steal thousands of dollars of merchandise, we're going to sell it for maybe a quarter on the dollar. Why? Because we are entitled to. Society didn't deliver for us, so we're entitled to steal and do whatever we want to do. Give me a break. Phil in the Bronx, good morning. You're on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Yes, good morning, Dominic. It's a pleasure. By the way, I want to compliment your previous caller, Frank. He put it on the table, and I'm very pleased to have heard what he said. Now, the bottom line here is McConaughey, as he's pointed out, was basically an actor. I think that he was called forward by the administration.
Oh, come on, Phil. Come on, Phil. Do you really? No, excuse me.
You're interrupting me, man.
No, Phil, it's not your show. Folks, we have to be clear here. You're not a radio broadcaster. You don't tell me what to do. Of course I'm interrupting you. That's my job.